Join me in welcoming Jacob Balbas. Hey, Jacob, how you doing today?
I'm well, Steve. How are you?
I'm doing really great. So the book is called A Man Alone with God. What an amazing book. I'm so excited. I loved reading through it myself, and I'm really looking forward to introducing it to people. To begin with, though, tell us just a little bit about you and how you show up in the world.
Yeah, I let's see. I have two kids. Talk about being a father, and they're 3 and 5. They're my number one priority right now in life. And after that, I'm kind of in a transition business wise. I had a business restoring homes after water losses and fires, and really did it because I like helping people. So. Besides that, I love the outdoors. I love to hunt. I love to fish. Love to go out on lakes and water and just have fun, enjoying God's creation.
And you live in the perfect place for hunting and fishing too. I know a lot of people watch the TV show Yellowstone, but you actually live. I mean, you're up in northern Montana, but you actually live in that area where all of those things they show are the realities of your life.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's the perfect place to explore and get out. I think, as I look about it, there's a million places you can explore, and only so much time to do so. So it's pretty neat place.
Love it. So let's talk about the book. The book is called A Man Alone with God. Talk to us about your intentions for the book. Why did you write it?
Um, I wrote it mainly because it helped me get through a season of hardship and suffering, and a lot of it was invited upon myself by me because of my decisions and my actions. And I think people in today's society, they don't have an outlet or an understanding, even believers, of why bad things happen. I think that's a question a lot of people ask. Why is this happening to me? And so I wrote it as a possible way of helping people through um, their trauma, which I think is an overused word in today's society, but their trauma, their hardships, their sufferings, and connected it to a relationship with God, which is what I believe is why those things happen, is because He's drawing near to you and wanting a relationship with you, wanting you to look at yourself. And so I had this season of hard times where a number of people, while good people, they refused to look at themselves. They thought they were perfect. They acted perfect. They did things out of greed and desires of things of this world, and it was at every point I was trying to connect the scriptures and the gospel and what the word of God is, and at every point nobody wanted to live what they said they believed. And so I went through this series of just figuring out that what the time we have on this earth is really short, and that it's really meant to live for the one who created it. And through looking at everybody else, they were judging me. They were wanting things that I had. I was living a way that I shouldn't be living. And it woke me up to what matters every day, which is Jesus and my relationship with Him. So,
I love that. So, and I know this is kind of an unfair question, but what is your favorite part of the book?
oh, my favorite part of the book is the part where I talk about my grandpas and my dad. Um, and it's because they taught me so much in life. They taught me things that like I took for granted, things that I didn't even realize they were teaching me. And it's what's helped me get through my life and hard things. And it's what's given me um, a mindset that I need to have. And to look at them now, or just talk to my dad last weekend, even, he he was a great father, and he is a great father, right? And I like that part, because as it correlates to God, God is our father. I'm his son, and he's adopted me, and I'm in his family, and so now you have the same kind of correlation of all the things that he's done, and he knows that's happened in my life to love me. And so I like that part, because it's a dual kind of dichotomy, where like it's not just men of God that raised me, but it's the God who created me. That's my father, and that's why it's my favorite part. So
Can you give us an example of one of the cool things they taught you?
I'm gonna say the outdoors. So my grandpa taught me a lot of patience. He taught me to think in a way where I identify every aspect before making a decision, every problem that I could have, every anything, right? Any situation, to look at all aspects before going and making a decision. And it's easy to forget that. It's easy to get emotional and go into a different mode where you make mistakes. And so he taught me to consider everything before doing. And then my dad, one thing that I appreciate is through sports, and like failure. He taught me how to process through failure. He taught me how to recover, and not blame anybody, even though sometimes we want to, but to blame myself and look at myself. He taught me to work through hard things physically and mentally. And he did that through the chores that we had to do growing up, the work that he made us do. Anything that I wanted, I had to earn it. And that's something that I really appreciate, is not just to have success and get things, but to how to work to get them, and to do it the right way. So.
Absolutely. Going through a journey like what you've been on, and the journey of reflecting on it as you've written the book, what is the one piece of advice that you would give to the younger version of yourself? That age old, if I could just go back in time and tell myself this thing that I wish I would have known then, what advice would you give you?
I'd probably give just the notion of nothing in this world matters, but you reflecting Jesus. Because really, like, I chased my dreams. I chased things, material things, like I was buying guns and a new Bronco, or going on trips, having fun, doing me. And I would say that there's much more fulfillment and joy in life when you seek after God, and you seek after the things of God, and you are brought into those relationships that God brings you, and not the relationships that you go seek out and find. That would be the advice that I have.
What do you hope to be able to, reach people with in this book?
I think for me, the one thing that I would want people to understand is that we're all broken people. We all fail on a daily basis in some capacity. But there's a reason for that. It's so that we can do God's will, and we have forgiveness for that brokenness of sin. I had a lot of people that didn't want to acknowledge sin. I had someone very, very close to me that I really loved scream, "I have no sin," to me. And so I think when you acknowledge your sin and you go to God on a daily basis and you say, "You're God, I'm not," and you pray to him and you talk to him and you have an intimate relationship with him, he's able to fill you with positive things instead of negative things. He's able to use you to accomplish his will on this earth, and he's able to take you down the path of life that he wants for you and use you a lot faster, rather than you deciding what to do. There's a fine line that we all kind of go on, and we were talking about this the other day in a group of men, where it's your confidence in Christ or it's your ego. And there are men of Christ, and I think every man deals with pride in some capacity. And we take some of the scriptures of God saying what we can do, and we ride that line of ego and confidence. And I have no confidence in myself. I think my life has proved that. All my failures, everything, even despite what abilities I have, or what measure of work ethic I have, or what I know that I can do with my hands. I know that I can do far more when it's doing it for the Lord. And I know that he can do far more than I can. And at every point in my life, he's quick to show me that. And he's also quick to forgive me and to restore, after my failures. And so that's the important thing, I guess, is when things don't go your way, when you don't get what you want, when someone dies, when someone cheats on you, when you lose money, or someone steals from you. It's not the end of the world. If you look at it and change your mindset, it's the beginning of something really wonderful. And I would hope that people take, their selfishness out of it. And that's why I started it the way that we did. I started it is because we're all needing to acknowledge how empty and broken we are without God. But at the same time, the reason why we ride that line of ego and confidence is because when we are filled with Christ, we are filled with his power. We're filled with boldness and strength that is really hard to explain to non-believers. It's really hard to explain to people who don't know what that feels like and what that means. And it's really hard to reciprocate that unless you have a personal relationship with him and you allow him to fill you and come in. And I think ultimately, there's things that while scary initially in life, new challenges, new threats, risks, liabilities, you name it, they're scary to the everyday person at first. That's our first thought. But when it's Christ-centered, that fear goes away, and you kind of look at everything that comes into your life differently. You look at it and you're headstrong because you know who's with you. And that's the meaning of, besides, salvation, obviously, but Jesus died so that he can be with us, and he left his spirit to guide us. And we have to listen to that. We have to listen to his voice, because there's so many other voices that take us down the wrong path. So.
I love that. The book is called A Man Alone with God. It's an amazingly wonderful journey, and it's very real and raw. I love how you did it, Jacob. And I do encourage everybody. I put the link both in the comments as well as it's in the description. You can get A Man Alone with God for free today on Amazon and help Jacob out as we launch this book. Jacob, thanks so much for sharing the book with us. Before I let you go, leave us just one last little word of encouragement.
Go to him on a daily basis, and it will change your life. That's what I will say. Start with him in the morning, talk to him in the middle, in the noontime, and end your day with him every day.
Love that. Do get your copy of A Man Alone with God today on Amazon. Jacob, thanks so much for spending some time with us here on the show today.
Thanks, Steve.